Hello everyone, my name is Kiana Terry, a junior at Winston-Salem State University studying social work, and today I will be presenting my macro change project entitled Pushing My Buttons. The need I identified around campus was the need to fix all handicap buttons to grant all students equal access to buildings. While entering the Student Center on the campus of Winston-Salem State University, I discovered that the handicap buttons were not functioning properly. This problem stuck out to me instantly. Handicap buttons being out of order make it difficult for a disabled person to gain access to a building. Winston-Salem State is responsible for providing not only students, but faculty and visitors access to resources and activities held on our campus. Our campus having handicap buttons that do not work violates the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. Title III, Public Accommodations and Commercial Facilities, discusses how businesses, schools, movie theaters, and warehouses should be handicap accessible. This title also states that new buildings that have been reconstructed requires ADA buttons to be placed. More information that I found out from the 1990 Act is that doors with closers should take at least 5 seconds to move from the open position at 90 degrees to 12 degrees from the latch. Something else that I discovered is that doors with spring hinges should take at least 1.5 seconds to close from the open position to 70 degrees. While preparing to create my project, data needed to be collected. Videos were recorded of the buttons that did not work along with doors that opened too slow. Discovering that there are a handful of buttons that do not work around campus was disappointing. A chart was made that was labeled buttons that do not work and buttons that open doors that open too slow. The buttons that were found that do not work around campus were the Anderson Building at the ground level, DJR Student Center, Brown Hall, which is a residence hall around campus, Gleason, which is another residence hall, and Hill Hall, the doors in the back. Doors that opened too slow were found in Oak Kelly Library and Hall Patterson. Here are a couple photographs to display how these doors do not work. To your left shows DJR entrance door, and to your right shows the ground level entrance door to Anderson. Before implementing my project, I had to muster support. After gathering information, searching for support to help implement my project was the next step. ADA buttons are considered maintenance upkeep around campus, which means facilities need to be contacted. The mission of the facilities operations maintenance management is to provide a physical environment and services so that buildings, utilities, and landscape are functional, attractive, and safe for teaching, learning, and recreation. My person of interest for my project was Mr. Kerr, who I met outside the library fixing the door. Unfortunately, there was no photograph online of Mr. Kerr because he is a relatively new worker at Winston-Salem State. Mr. Kerr played an important role with helping me develop my project. He showed concern and support immediately for what I was trying to accomplish. He agreed that the buttons not working hindered students from having equal access to resources. He agreed to help me in any way possible to implement my project. We met in the library where I shared my pictures and videos that I captured at every location where the handicap buttons were found to be broken or that moved too slow. Mr. Kerr was shocked at the information that I gathered because he was not aware that so many buttons around campus were not working. Mr. Kerr and I came to the conclusion that putting in work orders for every building that contained a broken button is the main action for me to begin with the buttons being fixed. After I gathered this information from Mr. Kerr, I went and sat and put in work orders for every building that I found that was not working, as well as buildings who had doors that moved too slow. I have submitted the work orders for the buildings and will follow up next semester to see if they're adequately working again. Thank you guys so much.